Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Such a privilege to be here. Imagine edition. Wow. And before coming here, I thought maybe other people have had sessions there before me, and I'm so honored. I'm so privileged to be, part of the first people. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Pan Atlantic University, for always having us shot us. We're always excited to partner with you. Okay, so my session today, I just have 15 minutes. Hopefully, I'll be able to, pour out my heart and hopefully communicate this to you today. So the talk is about driving economic growth in Africa, right? The transformative power of digitizing mass transit. And we're going to look at it from the lens of, we're especially going to look at it from Nigerians' perspective, the lens of the past. And we believe strongly that transportation has a strong capacity to transform the way that the economy can actually work. So we're going to, let's look at mass transit today, right? The life cycle of mass transit begins with the bus, especially in Lagos. Now we're going to there are various forms of transport, but we'll just run in at the bus. Someone buys this bus, someone puts it on the road. The person expects it, someone drives it. There's a conductor that needs to collect money. Someone needs to make remittances, make payments for it. And the bus needs to be there for maybe 4 or 5 years or whatever, and then the bus dies, and then the cycle repeats. And then of course the passenger, someone needs to sit on the bus to make this bus useful, right? And all of these activities is so unorganized. It happens today. There's a driver. There's a lot of problems that face. Let's look at Lagos. There are 12 million people that commute every day, maybe 12, 13 million people, and they use all forms of transport. But we look at this system, and that system that we have in Lagos is estimated that it produces $30 billion in revenue every day, right? But it's so unorganized. The driver, there are certain challenges that the stakeholders face. Look at the driver. His earnings are still unpredictable. The guy wakes up every morning, he's hoping that, okay, he's going to make some money today. He just, drives out there, does all he can, and then multiply that at maybe 100, 200,000 drivers that do that. Why they have sorts of livelihood, but it's unpredictable for them. You talk about the vehicle owner. Now, someone buys these assets, like I explained, but you don't see the banking system, the finance system, plowing to line up to give them financing to get more of this. The reason for that is because it's unorganized. You don't have data, the financiers don't have visibility into the performance of these assets. They don't have visibility into the revenue collection, how these buses are doing, the health of these buses and all of that. And so what we look at the mass transit value chain, there are maybe 6, 7 players, from the vehicle owners, the drivers, the people that we call conductors, right? The bus marshals, and the financial institution. Because the system is not digitized today, nobody can actually maximize the value that mass transit has inherently in it. As organized as it is in Lagos today, it produces $30 billion every day. So what if there was a way, right? What if there was a way that we can successfully digitize it? What does that mean? What kind of potential do we see, across the world for that to yield? So we look at beyond Lagos, cities in Africa, they have this problem. Lagos, 20 million people, 13 million commuters. Kinshasa in DRC Congo, 17 million people, 10 million commuters daily, right? Producing maybe $20 million. The same thing in Dar es Salaam, the same thing in Nairobi. But the systems are unorganized, the systems are not digitized. So the banking system that is supposed to finance their goods, they don't have visibility into it. The government has a rough estimate of how many vehicles are out there. They don't have visibility into the performance of the vehicles. They don't have visibility into how many commuters are there reliably. So they can't plan, they can't think about the growth. They can't do all of those things across each of these cities. So we see that it becomes a challenge. It becomes a challenge because safety is not guaranteed. When a system is not digitized, there's no concept of manifest. You don't know who is moving from what. You'll be able to trace the way people move reliably. So safety is, of course, a problem because when people operate, in an opaque system, they can get away with anything. Affordability is expensive because, hoarding. There is a concept of hoarding when you don't know what to expect. When you're standing there in that mass transport, an example would be you're standing outside on the road, you're looking at the bus. It's the only bus that you know that is available. You're going to pay whatever. So it impacts pricing because there's no transparency in the number of assets, the number of systems that are functioning in that city. It's not comfortable because, of course, people put all manner of vehicles out there. So the passenger, is faced with an experience that, is far from being comfortable. And then reliability and sustainability, right? And when we think about it in our society today, the bedrock of this economy is actually transportation. Everybody that is in this room got here somehow, right? You transported, whether you drove yourself, someone drove you joined the bus, whatever way. So thinking about how big it is, thinking about the inherent abilities, and figuring out, trying to think about the ways to even make it better. How do you get it to grow? How do you unlock more value? We see that some of the benefits that digitizing mass transit will bring includes the commuters themselves will enjoy safer, more comfortable, more cost-effective solution. Why? Because of course there will be increased participation. Right? Now, most people are not interested in investing in the transport sector because it's dirty. And dirty means that it's unorganized, they have to deal with so much, they don't have visibility into what their output will be, they don't have visibility, so they don't have a system that is supposed to finance, right? They don't have visibility to how these assets are performing. So think about the big owners, SME, that needs financing. So without the system, without the process being digital, without knowing the number of kilometers that he moves, without knowing how he invests in maintaining his fleet, without knowing how much each fleet gets in a specific period. None of these things, nobody can finance that asset because there is no visibility. So that's the benefit that the digitizing this mass transit gives to the people on the driver themselves. What we see is that the driver has predictable earnings because the asset has predictable revenue. So you can pay the driver better, you can pay the bus marshal better, and then of course all of these things have digital trade. So all of a sudden they get access to financial tools that are research for the white-collar sector. And then you think about businesses themselves. So businesses no longer need to invest heavily in their own workforce transportation system because now the mass transit itself works. It's transparent, they have visibility into their, how their employees are going to move. They know that it's safe because all of there's manifest, there's clear, it's clear security measures put in place. Everybody that joins the system is recorded. And they can now track their employees across board because it's digital. So, as some of the businesses that offer workforce transportation, they have to do an upfront investment. The reason is that there is no viable alternative, right? But if this was available, it means that they won't need to do that and they will still get all the benefits. So it will reduce, the barrier to entry for businesses. And then of course, the investors as well. Now, all the transactions that happen in mass transit become super clear. Transparency drives investment because transparency demonstrates where the value is, what the growth rates are, how people the revenue generating capability, and what exactly the use of fund will be. So when you put X into this system, this is what it's going to do, this is what it will produce. All of a sudden, it will drive participation. So that's one of the biggest value that digitizing mass transit will bring. And of course, the government, right? Planning requires data. Everything in the modern society, everything is data driven. If you're going to increase the capacity of the roads, you need data to be able to demonstrate the trends. This is the commuting behavior. This is how many people that have been commuting over the last 5 years. This is the growth rate. Okay, so we should expect that by so time this is the number of people. So the road capacity will no longer be sufficient. All of that information requires is that even taxation, right? For the government to better tax the system needs to be properly digitized, the system needs to be better financed, the system needs to be able to generate better revenues, and then of course, the bottom line for the government will be able to have better tax remittance. So it improves and puts the system in a way that the cycle and the wheel will turn faster for everybody in the value chain. All right. So we use the word unlocking because it's almost like there is value in it today, but that value is a bit trapped, right? The value is trapped. The people that are participating are not getting the most that they ought to. So we see that if we spend time adopting digital solutions across board, all of a sudden the guy that could only afford one vehicle that is doing well, he'll be able to get the financing that he needs to be able to make it too. The driver that didn't have an opportunity to drive will get an opportunity because now there's a new asset available. And now when the new asset is available, it means that all of a sudden the commuters that need to move have more comfortable seats that they need to move. And then we unlock their own productivity, because if you are going to work every day and you're using a transportation system that is uncomfortable, unreliable, unpredictable, by the time you get to your work, you are exhausted and your productivity is potentially halved, right? So when we solve this fundamentally, we unlock productivity, we unlock economic performance across all the sectors. And nobody is going to invest in mass transit today if they don't have visibility to how it's done. So we think that digitizing is a way to even attract more investment opportunities there. So this is in a nutshell, mass transit is going to be the catalyst for building the type of economy that we want. If we're going to move from being a consuming economy to a producing economy, it means that we need to be able to transport our workforce from point A to point B reliably. They need to get there when they need to be there. They need to get there how you want them to be there. They need to get there on time. They need to get there safely, comfortably. And then for everybody participating in it, they need to be able to capture the value that comes from doing this work. So hopefully, as we embrace digitization across Africa, we'll be able to see not just the lives of our citizens change, but the life of the businesses, the life of governments, and future possibilities will even be better unlocked. Thank you so much.